Kung Fu Panda Hulk! Hoarfrost hollows, god damn it, not icy hollows. Hey guys, welcome back. I know last time I didn't go through a lot of strategy on boss fights. I kind of just showed you what their attack patterns were, but this time we're going to be slowing things down a little bit towards the end. I'm going to try to show you when the best times to attack. Say a boss has a long buffer time after a certain attack, I'll let you know, and kind of just their wind-ups. I'm going to be starting to focus more on like how they wind up so you could kind of anticipate what attack's coming, because as we go on, more and more bosses are going to have different attack patterns, so you got to kind of anticipate what they're going to do before they actually do it. So we'll be doing that. Also, one more thing, just wanted to let you know that in this video, probably not going to start implementing putting drops after each boss quite yet, just because, again, these are low-level bosses. They don't really drop anything worthwhile, and I feel like it would be just kind of a waste of screen time to be showing you all these items that drop for like 2 or 3 gold. So, without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, so we're going to jump right into it. Your first enemy is going to be Cunning Etouch. I don't know how to pronounce that for the life of me, but he's not a very cunning dude. He's only got one attack, you'll see it right there. So no real strategy for beating this guy, just dodge that first attack and take him out, I guess. We'll move on to the next guy pretty quick. So these next guys are going to be 2 big spiders. They have the same exact attack patterns as the little guys, so all along through this dungeon you're only going to be fighting spiders, so you'll pick up on it pretty quick. But all it is they'll lunge back on their back feet and they'll kind of spring forward at you. It's not a hard attack to either dodge or block or whatever you need to do. So as long as you keep that in mind, they're pretty easy to kill. On this next guy, we've got Loud Etouch. Still just pronunciation, not sure. So he's got that first attack, regular attack, no big deal. But he's got this second one, which you'll want to pay attention for. He'll hang back on his right foot a little bit, and then he'll kind of do a 2-sequence attack. If you dodge away on the first one and dodge back in on the second at the right time, you'll be able to get right next to him. Here, you'll see here, I slow it down a little bit. He'll hang back on that right foot, dodge away, and dodge back in when that second attack's coming, and you'll be right next to him. He has a pretty big buffer time during this, so getting a couple hits on him after this attack isn't too hard. Just don't be greedy and know when to pull out, I guess. Okay, so next boss is going to be... Oh, here we go. So we've got Slingshot Bro, which is in a league of his own, because he might as well just throw the slingshot at you, because there is no way he will ever hit you. Here, I just stand in place. I swear I could have stood there for 10 minutes. Wouldn't have hit me. Moves a little closer. No. Okay, man. Whatever. Still nothing. So, not a whole lot of strat for this guy. Just know that when you get close to him, he will sneeze on you. It'll do a little bit of erosion to your armor, but not a real big deal. Pretty easy to dodge. You can see him kind of itch his nose whenever he does that, so it's a pretty big, I guess I'd call that a wind-up. But as long as you pay attention to that, you should be fine. And yeah, we'll move on to the next. So this is actually a sub-boss. They call him Enflame. He's a little like sprite dude. Kind of annoying. He's got this little fire attack you'll see right there. Little particles show up around him. It'll set a burning effect on you, so watch out for that. Pretty easy to see though. You'll see those particles and then a little fireball come to the left of you. Also, you'll see that when he bounces around a little bit, he'll have that little charge attack. Also has this really annoying flashy grenade attack, and then you'll see him do the charge attack one more time right here. Not too hard to dodge, just make sure you're watching out for those particles or when he's bouncing around. He doesn't have very much health, so you can take him out pretty quick. So, now we have 2 slingshot guys, so you'd figure, you know, double the slingshots, double the hits. Well, not quite. I just stood in the middle of them for about 10 seconds, and they just shot at me like a bunch of autistic stormtroopers. So, I just killed off the yellow guy pretty quick because we just went over him. And I moved on to the orange guy. Orange guy is very similar to the yellow guy, 0 aim. But what he does have is this really annoying running away attack. So if you're in his way and he's doing that, he's going to hit you. But, I mean, if you stay in back of him, as long as you're not completely hugging his ass, then you should be completely fine with that attack. I mean, it's not a big deal. So, we move on, take that guy out pretty quick. Okay, so, just when you thought that the slingshotting was over and that Nexon had decided that, you know, since they never hit anything, we're just going to stop putting them in the game. Nope, they add a 3rd slingshot guy. So let's take out these first 2 real quick. These are the 2 guys we just went over. And we're going to have to kill the big brother, which has 3-shot burst, but again, none of them hit you, so it doesn't make much of a difference. So we take out that guy pretty quick. Just another note, he does have that running away attack. It's a little bit obnoxious, but nothing major. Okay, so now we have Speedy, whatever. They're just killing me with these names. So he has the same deal. He has that 2-sequence attack where you can dodge away and you can dodge back in. He's got a normal attack, and then he's got one attack that you might want to watch out for. So here again is that 2 attack. When he's back on his right foot, you can kind of tell. Okay, so he's got this attack right here, which is a 4-sequence attack. Really annoying. It'll go across the entire map. The way you want to tell for this is here. You'll see it right here. He does like a little Leonidas jump, and you can tell that that's kind of his only windup for this attack. And you are really going to want to get out of the way for this one because it'll run across the entire map, so it's a little bit obnoxious to dodge unless you dodge to the side. So, as long as you do that, he has a pretty long buffer time in between that 2-sequence attack and that 4-sequence attack, so you should be good to go on that. Okay, so another sub-boss right here. We've got 3 little worms. They've got this really, really annoying launching attack. You can see it right there, that little particle effect around their beak. And they'll just like shoot these little balls of like garbage at you, and it kind of sucks. I'm not going to go over these attack patterns on these guys a whole lot because the main boss has all of these guys' attack patterns plus a couple more, so by going over those in the boss, you'll pretty much be able to kill these guys no problem. But just remember there are 3 of them, so you can take them out whatever order you want. It's just, they're a little frustrating. Okay, so for the main boss in this raid, you're going to be fighting a flower, which for the life of me, I cannot read its name or anything else in this episode, so we're going to endearingly call it Penismon. So Penismon has a couple different attacks, one where he kind of stares into your soul, turns a little bit, and then smashes into the ground. The second attack, very similar to the first, except when he smashes into the ground, he'll grab a rock. Watch out, because when he is smashing into the ground, he can do some damage to you. But, as usual with the whole trajectory thing and Nexon, the rock usually ends up hitting the ceiling of the cave. So, next attack is you'll see some particle effects around him. First time I didn't know what I was doing, so I was like, ooh, pretty, and then I died. So, what you want to watch out for in this one is the particle effects, and then it'll kind of dick flop on the ground. And this is really important because this is the attack with the longest buffer time in this fight. So when it's down for like 3 or 4 seconds, you can get a ton of damage on it. So again, watch out for that. Also, this last attack it'll kind of just spaz out a little bit and swing to the side. As long as you pay attention to what the thing's doing, it's not a big deal, because I mean it can't chase you around the map, and when it tries to throw rocks it usually ends up hitting the ceiling. So for this guy, watch out for particle effects. You'll see that brown particle effect right there. That means he's going to throw a little potion at you. It'll do some corrosion to your armor, but it doesn't do a whole lot of damage. Second thing you're going to want to watch out for is when you get close to him, he will throw this base attack at you. Not a big deal. It's a single attack, steps back with the right foot. It's a really big indicator that he's going to do this. Third thing you want to watch out for is that red particle effect. Doesn't really do anything. And then this yellow particle effect right here. When you see this, it means he's going to vomit, so just move out of the way. It's a really close range attack, so, I mean, if you're moderately far from him, it shouldn't make much of a difference. Overall, this boss is pretty easy. As long as you watch that base attack when you're really, really close to him, it's not a big deal. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next guy, which is a sub-boss. He has 3 attacks, one where he kind of looks at the ground, hits the ground with his axe a couple times, and then another one where he just runs away, and then the sneezing attack. So nothing we haven't really seen before, so we're just going to skip right over on this boss, because you also have to fight him for the very end of this dungeon. So at the very end, you're going to be fighting that guy, Slingshot Bro, and Yellow Dude. So we've covered all these before. You know, same as always, Slingshot Dude can't hit for shit, so I would suggest actually taking out the Slingshot guy first, just because he does tend to hit you a little bit more while you're moving for some reason. I mean, it doesn't make sense, but it happens. So I would take out Slingshot guy, and then you could either take out either one at your leisure, whichever one you're feeling. Okay, so this is actually a moderately hard boss fight. The first time I went around in Vindy, this was the first time I actually had to use potions. So just want to start off by saying this boss is extremely slow, so if you do take some damage, you can run off to the corner of the map and drink a potion, and you'll have plenty of time while he kind of hulks over to you. He has 2 base attacks, one where he'll kind of just ram you with his shoulder right there, and then another one where he punches the ground and he'll get his fist stuck for a little while. You could get a few hits on him right there if you want.
Okay, so his first kind of varying attack is he'll go into like a little peekaboo pose, and he'll look vulnerable. So you'll probably try to go to his back and attack him, but he'll try to do, after that, he'll do like a little shoulder thing and it'll hit you. So, that attack that you just saw is probably the most important attack of the fight. It does do a ton of damage, and it'll make you bleed, so you'll take damage over time. But if you can rush out of the way of the first one and rush back in on the second one, then you could have him down for like 3 or 4 seconds, and you can do a ton of damage. Here you're going to see again, dodge out of the way, and then dodge back in, right on that second hit, and you'll have a ton of buffer time to just kind of get all your attacks on him. Makes the battle really easy. I wish I would have known this the first time around, because I would just kind of rush him. So I'm going to play this over a couple times, because I cannot stress how important this kind of little combo is for this battle, because, I mean, I even had time to get off a Mana Blade, and if you're an Arsha, you know how long it takes. Okay, so moving on to the, I believe this is second to last battle of the Hoarfrost Hollows. I think I got that right this time. And this is the Coca-Cola Polar Bear. So, what you're going to want to do for this guy is, first off, stay in front of him, because look how big of a windup that is for that front attack. I mean, I took it a couple times, and I don't think I missed a dodge once on it. The windup is just so big, as opposed to, like, you'll see in a second, if you go in back of him and you try to attack, the windup for his back attack is a lot less. Like, he'll kind of just jump backwards with almost, like, you get a little bit of time to figure out what he's doing, but not much. He also has that side attack. So those 3 attacks, not too bad, but just notice that when you get him down to phase 2, which is half health, you'll realize it because half of his face is bleeding. He'll have 2 more attacks. So he'll have this attack, which you just saw, which you can see he initiated. He'll slam his paw down on the ground, and then he'll go into 3 left spins. And the first one usually cuts back, second one cuts forward, and the third one also cuts forward. So just make sure you can dodge the first one, block the second, and you have a little bit of buffer time. So the other attack is that one you just saw right there. You can tell because he lifts his paw up. Very important to realize the difference. Slam paw down means 3 circular attacks, and then when he puts his paw up, it means 2 kind of like slashes. So that's what I was talking about earlier in the video, where I was like, you got to be anticipating your opponent's attack before they even do it. That way it kind of sets you up. So you can position yourself correctly so that at the end of the attack you can get as many attacks in as possible. Saying attack so many times for days. So anyway, once you got that figured out, this boss isn't super big of a deal. Again, it's a raid, but I mean, not super difficult. Okay, so this fight is not anything you haven't done before. It's just putting about 5 of the bosses that you've already fought together, so I'm not even going to put the HP and stats up. But I'm not going to go over a whole lot of strategy for this, because they put you against 2 axe guys, then that 1 particle effect guy, and then this guy, which, I mean, we've already gone over the tactics for beating all these. So just keep on following what we did before, and you shouldn't have trouble with this. But yeah, that pretty much sums up this video. I think that's all the fights in Hoarfrost Hollows. There are a couple more, but they're higher levels, so we might have to come back a little bit later. I'm trying to do this all by level, so I think next we're on to Emil or something like that. That's probably how you say it, or I'm making it up. I mean, I was wrong about Hoarfrost Hollows. But anyway, if you made it this far, I just want to thank you for watching. If you did like it, remember to leave a like, and if you want to see more of this, don't forget to subscribe. I'll try to get one of these up I want to say every couple of days, but all the editing and recording and stuff takes like a couple hours, so I'd say at some point it's probably going to be about one of these a week. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Later.